Novice. Dan, I'll come straight to you because you set the last one out.
Yeah, it's a tough old race, this, but I think with Lucia and Astro Diamond taking up so much of the market and considering it normally attracts a decent field sizes, I just wanted somewhat an each-way price. And a lot of joy, I think there's a lot going for her here. Like, she's experienced from her time on the flat, and I think she's been improving steadily over hurdles. And when I look at these mares races, I really do like form in behind the geldings, and some of her form reads really well. She was second to Deep Cave, who finished close up in the Nathaniel Lacey. He had firm footings back in third that day, and I think he's quietly fancy for the Martin Pipe. So that reads pretty well. That was over 2 mile 4, and she travelled like the winner all day there. Just probably didn't see out 2 mile 4 on that occasion. She was second to, I know the way you're thinking behind that. Like, I think a lot of people thought he was a Martin Pipe plot job, but he's achieved a lot, that horse. So to finish close up to him is a good effort. She's obviously got off the mark next time out in what was a nothing race. That would done her confidence some good, though. She was third in an Irish Cesaro, which I think a big field will much play to her strengths better than these small novice races have done, where she's been trying to go from the front. I think she wants to sit in off a strong pace. She's a very smooth traveller. We know she's got speed from her time on the flat, and her experience, I think, will pay dividends here. I think ridden patiently, I think she'll be in the shake-up.
Yeah, and of course, it's really opened up now that Lucia's out.
Of course, yeah, absolutely.
If you're listening on the podcast, by the way, that isn't the case. Steve.
Sorry, I double-clicked then. Another one where I just want to go for one at a bit of a bigger price because Lucia's been super impressive and she might well hose up. But Magical Zoe is a horse that I think is interesting, given that she won a red-hot race at Down Royal, albeit it was way back in November and she hasn't run since. But if she's in that sort of form, and she won't mind it if it's soft ground, if she's in that sort of form, I think she's overpriced at, what would she be?
11.
Something
0.
like, yeah. So you win in place on her, but I think Lucia will probably win. But Magical Zoe would be one that I would expect to run very well.
So to you, Matt, is that to do with your stat or not?
Partially, because the stat is about Willie Mullins. He won the first 5 renewals. The last 2 renewals, he's had 10 runners, and only one of them has done better than 5th. So half of those went off 9.0 or shorter. Punters tend to just look to what's the one from the Mullins camp, and actually the value is probably now going to be with other trainers, because with the wider mares program, so many more trainers are involved in that. And I like Magical Zoe for exactly the reasons Steve said. I think she's got a decent chance. The other one I want to back is Gordon Elliott's Hauka de Tarbet. She beat Eva Grace by 11 lengths at Naas, looked like a relentless galloper. The fast run test of stamina at the trip at the Dawn Run looks ideal. She then went to the Solarina over an extended 2-2 at Fairyhouse, won by Astro Diamond. As a Class 1 race, winning that gives you the full £5 penalty here. David Russell made a great ride there in terms of getting her some more experience without incurring a penalty. Dictated a slow pace that didn't suit her, wasn't overly vigorous, didn't use his whip at the business end, and she went down by 2.5 lengths for Astro Diamond to be £5 better off now with the Dawn Run. So I think she's got every chance of turning that form round. And as Dan was saying, there's almost always a big field for this. 3 of the last 4 years, full field of 22. So it's not a race I really want to play in the place markets. I'd rather split my stakes win only, and I'm going with Magical Zoe and Hauka de Tarbet.
All right, and Deasy's with, I just can't have Princess Zoe, Deasy. Not in a million years.
Why not?
See, over 2-1, she'd need it to be bottomless.
She could be bottomless.
It could be. I can't. No way. No, she won't. She wouldn't. I can't have her.
No, she finished. She finished second in that big bumper at Ascot there a few years ago as well. That wasn't on bottomless ground, I think.
But they'll just go to. She won't be quick enough.
Yeah, look, I know she's a bit of a wild swing, but I tell you exactly why I liked her now and what I thought about her. I know she's only one run over hurdles, but and she's a bit old, but she's a very tough, experienced mare. And that race there that he had with Ladybag, she jumped the last was bad, gave up all the momentum, and when she got headed by the horse, she kept going and just stuck the head out. She could have been beaten easily, but she kept going. and got back up for her dead heat. I think that'll be a nice bit of experience for her. And like she's a lot of races done there now. She has some top class fat form. And if the ground is softish, she could definitely, like, I know her price is coming a lot now because Tony Mullins is probably putting all his charity bets on her, but I could see her running better than expected. And the other one is a horse with no name, Nicky Henderson's mare. She finished second in this last year to Love and Va, and she was coming all the way to the line. Love and Va ended up being fairly decent, and I'd say definitely has a good chance in the actual mare's hurdle. She pulled up on Stephen's Day, just wasn't right. We haven't seen her since, but I think the fact that she ran it last year will stand to her. And again, she's a decent price, but she's about 17.0. I'll have a little win place betting both of them.
Liam says fellow puts up for you some raffles. Can't have Princess Zoe, the cheek.